Architects often refer to Le Corbusier as the modern Vitruvius. Upon first glance, this comparison may seem to only scratch a small surface, but with further inspection, it's clear that Corbusier did in fact share many architectural ideas with early Greek architecture and Vitruvian principles. Le Corbusier himself is even noted to have been heavily influenced by Greek architecture, namely the Parthenon. In his book, Towards a New Architecture, one of the most iconic spreads is the one that juxtaposes the Parthenon against early 20th century automobiles. This sort of comparison is exemplary of how Corbusier's modernist style draws on Vitruvian and Greek ideals. Corbusier's engineer aesthetic, as he describes it in Towards a New Architecture, bases itself strongly on proportioning and simple beauty, one of the largest parts of Vitruvius's 10 books on architecture. Vitruvius describes proportioning and geometry in Chapter 1 of Book 4, entitled On Symmetry, in Temples and in the Human Body. Vitruvius states proportion is a correspondence among the measures of the members of an entire work and of the whole to a certain part selected as a standard. From this results the principles of symmetry. Without symmetry and proportion, there can be no principles in the design of any temple. Therefore, since nature has designed the human body so that its members are duly proportioned to the frame as a whole, it appears that the ancients had a good reason for their rule that in perfect buildings the different members must exist in symmetrical relation to the general whole scheme. In Towards a New Architecture, Corbusier's sentiment on geometry and order is completely the same. He states, in order to construct well and distribute his efforts to advantage, to obtain solidity and utility in the work, he has taken measures, he has adopted a unit of measurement, he has regulated his work, he has brought in order, he has imposed order by means of measurement. In order to get his measurements, he has taken his pace, his foot, his elbow, or his finger. By imposing this order of his foot or his arm, he has created a unit which regulates his whole work, and this work is on his own scale, to his own proportion, comfortable for him, to his measure. It is on the human scale. It is in harmony with him. That is the main point. Geometry is the language of man. We can see these principles exemplified in Corbusier's 5 points of architecture as they call for mature proportioning and order in the relationship of parts to whole. By enacting his 5 points, pilotis, flat roof terrace, open plan, ribbon windows, pre-facade, he achieves a simple, clean form, the engineer's aesthetic. The similarities between Corbusier's call for an engineer's aesthetic and his declared 5 points of architecture have too many parallels with Vitruvian ideals to be coincidental. Whether we attribute this to the mindset of the Second Industrial Revolution or Corbusier's own visit to the Parthenon, we can say that Corbusier drew his core modernist ideas of proportioning, order, and simplicity from Greek values and Vitruvian ideals.